Kim from KD Creations and Designs here again. Hoping you folks are having a wonderful day and hope you had a wonderful Easter. So we're back here again, shooting a video on making some candles and just going to talk to you about some other projects that we have going on. We actually already shot a video about the candles, and unfortunately there was no audio attached to that video. As I told you from the beginning, there will be mishaps and misadventures here. There's just no doubt about it. So, this is, as I was preparing for this video, what I did was I was pulling all the ingredients around, and what I realized is the directions to this is right on the bag. I don't know why I didn't pay attention to that. Present as a gift to somebody. So what I did is, let me show you the process of how you make these. They are so extremely easy. I tell my husband that all the time. He doesn't pay attention and look at the directions. But all of these items that I used, with the exception of the ribbon and the exception of the pot that I'm using to melt the wax, the stickies that stick the wick to the bottom and the clip to the bottom of the bowl. All of this and the wax. So this is soy organic wax. All of these are on Amazon, and I can try and link these. Now, I say I can try and link these only because, as I've said, well, in all the videos that haven't made it up on YouTube yet, we're trying to figure this out and trying to learn this. And we'll get there. And once we get there, it'll be, we'll still have a lot of fun. In the meantime, you can laugh at us and laugh with us at the same time. But these, we will try and link where the shop that we got these from off the Amazon website. In the meantime, what I've done is I went ahead and prepared some of the glasses that we're going to make our candles in today. These are the wicks. These are the clips, which is also right here. And these are the tabs that fasten the wick and the clip to the bottom of your dish. So I've saved a couple to do with you so you can see how easy it is to affix them to the dish. Now, the dish I didn't buy on Amazon. To be honest with you, I got these at Goodwill. I think I bought them for 20 cents or something like that. It was a really cheap price, and I'm thinking that I just would love these. I think they're going to be adorable. I'd like to put some this ribbon around them with some other ribbon, and I just think that it would be adorable as a cute little gift for somebody. Just as a pick-me-up, or just to let them know that I appreciate them. Something, something nice to do for somebody if they're having a bad day. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I poured some of this wax in the jar. They are just little wax beads. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and go ahead and get this started. It does not take long for them to melt. And I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm not going to go ahead and fix the ribbon on with you folks today, because this is going to need to cool. The candles are going to need to cool and solidify after that. So I will go ahead and put this on at some point, and then in some point in the video in the future, sometime in the next week, I'll just bring one of the candles out and show you what they look like with the ribbon on. So let me get rid of a couple of these things, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is, first of all, this is your wick. This is the size that it is. The clips and the wicks come in this nice little case. And then these come in this nice little bag. So what you're going to do is, because my jars are shorter, I went ahead and I cut these the wick in half. And for some reason, and I don't know if this is the case, but I don't know what kind of wood this is, so I guess I shouldn't say, but I almost want to say I thought it was bamboo, but I'm just not sure. It just doesn't sound right to me. But in any event, here is it. Now that your wick has been cut in half, there's a slot here, and you're simply going to slide the wick into the slot. And I just kind of tidy it up in there, and just to make sure it's all the way in, I'm pressing down. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare these last two. And then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to take one of the stickies. Now these are stickies on both sides. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel it off the paper, and that side is sticky. So again, I just peeled it off. And there is the tab on the bottom. So what I did do in the first video that you should not do is I went ahead and I stuck these tabs into the bottom of the jar. And then I was trying to figure out how to take the tabs off, to stick the wick on, all of that. So save yourself the headache and just go ahead and put it all on at once. Then you can take your tab off here like this, and you're going to go ahead and stick it in there. And there is the base of your candle. Just that simple. And just that quick. So roughly in about, probably by the time the wax melts, you pour it in. Your work on this is probably going to be about 30 minutes. If you were to make, so I have it set up to make 8 candles. Now, the one thing I will say is I do find it a little difficult to figure out how much wax to melt for how many candles. I don't think there's really any measurement for it to figure it out. I didn't see any on the bag, but I didn't see any directions on that. I will go ahead and I just melted some up, and if I have too much, then I'll leave it in the pot. It'll solidify in the pot, and if I don't have enough, well, then I guess what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make some up, another batch up at another point. The other thing that I did in the when we were trying to shoot the last video, is I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the way as well. The other thing that I did in the last video that you shouldn't do is I actually put my coloring in for the candles and my scent in, and I put it actually right directly in the jar. You shouldn't have put it in the jar directly. The directions specifically say to add your color and your scent to your pot. So it does limit you of how many you can, so you can't make a variety of candles all at once. You'd have to use all the wax out of the pot at once, put it in here, and do it that way, if you're going to make the candles from the pot on the stove. However, if you're going to use a microwave, just use a microwave safe bowl. And again, it does give you directions on the bag, which is absolutely wonderful, by the way. To know that you have the directions there, that's wonderful to me, because now I can go by the directions. But if you're going to use a microwave safe bowl, then you put the wax in there, and then you add your fragrance and your color in there. Now what I did is I have scent here. I don't have color yet. I'm actually going to step off camera again for a second, and I'm going to add the color, and I'm going to add the scent to the wax before we put it in here, and then you need to stir it up. And just to see how it looks this time, it's kind of exciting. It's a different thing. As I pointed out, we have some candles that we made before. So here is the purple. And here is the green. Now you can see some green speckles in this. You can notice that all of it kind of dropped to the bottom. And that's the thing I noticed with the last one, the last batch that we made, or the first batch we made. So I tried to stir it up a little bit. And that's where the purple was, I was able to get some of the purple to actually change color. The coloring actually didn't work as well on this, and it kind of just stayed at the bottom, even though I did mix it up. So I would recommend going by the directions and doing it in the pot. I'm sure that it will work that way. These are some of the other candles that we made, which are just so pretty. It almost looks like a peppermint candy, one of the little peppermint candies. Come Christmas, you know, the ones you have at Christmas time and all of that. This is a pumpkin spice, which is my favorite scent, and here are the orange. And what I did is I used red and yellow coloring to make the orange. But again, it didn't, it smells wonderful though. The color didn't turn out too nice, but boy, is the scent just wonderful. So I am just going to make these red. They are cranberry orange. That's the scent I'm making. So I'm just going to make them red, a nice airy color, light color. The wax is melted, so you can see how fast the wax melts. And I have my stove on low. So I'm going to go ahead and add the color. I am not seeing how that turned color at all. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a few more minutes to let it finish cooling down here before I add any scent to it. It does say 160 degrees. Now I didn't check the temperature on it. Oh, it smells wonderful. Wow. That is such a stronger scent profile, pouring the scent right directly into the hot wax rather than pouring it and leaving it in here. So I'm not sure. You can see some red flake particles in here, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna attempt to put any more coloring in there. But this is what the wax looks like. And clearly I do not have enough wax for 8 candles. I can see that already. It looks like I have enough for about 4 candles. And that's okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll make another batch at some point of some more candles. Melt some more wax and add some more scent in. And at this point, that's okay. So at this point, we're all done making the candles. You just need to let it sit. It will solidify. Absolutely wonderful. The smell of it is just, it's intoxicating. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a couple of other things that we're working on as well. Let me grab these and bring them over. So these candles won't be ready. I won't touch these glasses, and I won't do any more with them until tomorrow. And I am so excited now to try my pumpkin spice scent with that. I'm very excited to do that. So let me tell you real quick that it is, we have some more video types coming out, or types of videos, not video types, but types of videos coming out of some things that we have going on around here. I had seen on another channel, Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead, had recommended these Burpee Super Seeds cells, and you can just, they're so, as she had said, they're so easy to use. So I happened to be at Tractor Supply for other stuff, and I thought, you know, they weren't once a year at garden time. I try and buy one new thing every year that we need for the garden. This year I decided I was going to give these a try. You can see how the bottom is squishy. So when you get ready, you start your plants in these. Here's your watering tray. You know, it's wonderful. You start these here. Then what you do is when you get ready to transplant them into the ground or into your container, if you're doing container gardening, which I have such a small piece of property that we do gardening on, there just isn't enough land for us to cultivate and use it for a bigger garden. So I'm forced to do container gardening, and you know, last year my garden was completely container gardening, and it wasn't that great of a gardening year for us. So we have, my husband is now getting involved and going to go back to his method of gardening, which is in the ground. And it's not so much based on just container gardening, but you can use these to start your seeds and then transplant them into your containers or into the garden. These have a bigger cell, and I notice here that they are labeled one, A, B, C, and D here, and then 1 and 2. So that is nice as well. So yeah, and this actually, they say, fits right on your windowsill. It gives you instructions, and it goes over about even watering and gentle transplanting and all of that. So I'm excited to try these for the garden. As I've said to you folks from the very beginning, or as a matter of fact, that might have been in one of the first video that never got put up because something happened with that one as well. When I work with something like this, I will give you an honest feedback on this. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have anything like that. This is just stuff that I try. I try these things as an absolute beginner. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when people say that a product is for beginners. A beginner can use this. And then they assume that you have the basic knowledge. Most people, if you're a beginner, and if you're a true beginner, you don't have the basic knowledge. You don't have the basic knowledge about fertilizer and all of those things. You may not even have the basic knowledge about the dirt that you use for gardening, or, you know, candle making, or any of those things. So one of my biggest pet peeves about some of the channels that I've watched is that they assume that you have basic skills when they say beginner. To me, that's not a beginner. A beginner is a beginner, and it's right back to square one. So, and that's what I'm going to give recommendations on, or just give you positive or negative feedback. Just be honest and give you an honest review on these. That being said, this here, let's go ahead and show you this one real quick. This is a 36 cell. The cells, as you can see, are a little bit smaller. However, they are also small. So it's not as traumatizing to your plant in its infancy. It's not as traumatizing to get it up out of the tray and out of the cell. So you don't want to traumatize those roots, bringing them out of the tray and out of the cell. So you try this. I think it appears as though it's going to be it's a wonderful idea. So I'll let you know how this works. I'm excited to try it, and we'll go from there and see if, you know, if it works out well. Then perhaps next year we'll go ahead and get some more. And those, by the way, are from Burpee. And again, I purchased those at Tractor Supply. The small one that sits on your windowsill was $8.99. Now, I'm not sure what the price is for anywhere else in the United States. We are in upstate New York, so it was $8.99 plus tax. And then the 36 cell was $10.99 plus tax. So So I'm not sure what your prices are going to be, but that's what the prices are here. The other thing that we're working on, or I'm working on, is I'm working on making some, these are what you call quilt as you go placemats, and these are, this quilt as you go kit is by June Taylor. And I started some of these, 6 of them come in a package, and you have to have your backing fabric, and they supply the batting, and the batting is numbered, and then you of course supply your top fabric. I'm not going to get into the whole thing of this. I'm going to do a separate video on this and give you an honest review of it. But this is something else that I've been working on, and I'll talk to you again here probably later on this week for giving you a review on this. I hope you folks have had a wonderful week, a wonderful holiday. However you chose to spend it, I hope you were able to spend some time with your family. And I will leave you with a note telling you that we will let you know how the candles turn out. Probably in the next video. I'll just pop this in and let you know how it works. I can tell you already, I can see some red specks in there. So I'm guessing that if the specks show up enough, that these might be white with some red specks in there, much like the peppermint candy look. And that certainly is okay with me. As I said, I can't imagine that somebody's going to say that they wouldn't like that, because that is just a wonderful smell, and who doesn't like a pick-me-up every once in a while? So, folks, thanks so much for coming back and joining us again. We do appreciate it, and we appreciate your patience in handling our misadventures here at the homestead and at KD Creations and Designs. And we hope that you'll stick around and come on back and join us again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe, so we know that you like these videos and to keep making some more. Hopefully we won't have so many misadventures going forward, but you never know what you're going to find here. So we will talk to you soon. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Take care and God bless.